Y'all gotta pick a side and pick it right now.
Janelle ain't gonna stop till he takes everything.
I believe you can win this war.
I want justice for my wife's murder.
Let's take Tommy fucking Egan down.
All right, let's go.
They're closing in.
Am I calling a favor?
What's up, UglyAzzNiggas? This your boy J Miles, and I am back with another video. And you know what to do. If you're new, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking, but most importantly, make sure you share it with your ugly ass friends. On today's video, we will be covering Power Book for Force, and this right here is the final episode titled The Beginning of the End. This is the character predictions video. So basically, in this particular video, I will be covering what I think will be the outcome of all of the remaining characters. Basically, pretty much any of the characters that show up that has a name that, you know, is pretty recognizable. If they're still here, I'm going to cover what my prediction of them going forward into this final episode, whether they live, they die, whether, you know, they end up in jail, or, you know, just my prediction of what will be their outcome once this series has ended, because as we know, this is the final season of the show. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this. So first up, we have your boys Bones and Smurf. Now, I'm not going to be too long on them, but I think it's pretty safe to say, in my opinion, I think they're out of here, people. Because we see, well, first and foremost, we see them here in the car. This is outside the funeral along with UglyAzzNiggaHTV, I believe. So obviously we seen Bones at a shootout in the trailer for this final episode, so I don't think, you know, he's gonna end up dying here, but I think he dies in that shootout. Probably the same can be said for Smurf. So my prediction, both of them are going to be dead. But if by some chance, let's say one of them was to survive, I'm going to go with Smurf survive. All right, so next up we have your girl Genesis. Now, I know a lot of people are predicting she might be up out of here because a lot of people are expecting for someone to end up getting taken out at, you know, outside of that funeral where, you know, UglyAzzNiggaHTV and Bones and then we're just looking at, they're going to rain some shots. A lot of people believe they're going to rain some shots and end up taking somebody out. I'm going to say this. If anyone gets taken out by the shots that they get, like anyone significant that, you know, is a person that we actually recognize, I will say Genesis is very high on the list because, I mean, you can't have, more than likely you can't have D-Mac or obviously not Tommy. I don't even see it. Well, you know what? I do see another one that could be. But, you know, I don't know why, but I know a lot of people have been hard on it. I'm going to go with Genesis survives. And she makes it to Spellman. That's my personal opinion. But next up, people, we have your boy Raheem. So, as we know, Raheem played a very significant role in helping Tommy and his crew infiltrate CBI's first off, gave them the location and also weaken their defense so that they could be able to successfully move in and, of course, make an attempt on trying to get Jannard, but they ended up getting Diamond. In place of him, right? Now, if you pay attention during that same thing, Raheem, I don't know why I keep wanting to call this ugly nigga Rashawn, but anyways, Raheem was seen not shooting, and you know, the camera kind of shifted over towards him, and they could look at it. I think Jannard was looking at him, seeing that he wasn't doing anything. So Jannard more than likely is going to put 2 and 2 together, because keep in mind, before Diamond died, he told Jannard that if they find them at that church, then we know we got a snitch, right? So Jannard is going to remember that. And who else could have given up their location, like, you know, they could possibly, and to be honest, Jannard should have kind of been able to see that. Like, you know how close Raheem and Shanti was. Like, you kind of, but I mean, I don't know, he let it, but I think I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to put 2 and 2 together the next episode and go back and, you know, get him. The only way he can survive is if he's smart enough to know he can't be caught slipping at all and being anywhere near CBI, because they're on to him. But I would say very high % chance, in my opinion, he's up out here. Who knows? He might end up going out. You know, he finally might get what he wants with Shanti before, and that's gonna make Jannard want to turn up on him just that much harder because of, you know, him smashing his ex or whatever. So yeah. Anyways, though, yeah, Raheem, his ass is absolutely out of here, in my opinion. Next, we're gonna go ahead and go to your girl Madam Wu. If they even go back to her, because I mean, we only have 1 episode left. I would expect for them to extend it. I hope they do. But, you know, we only got 1 episode left. Like, it's only so much they can do with all these remaining characters that's left, right? Gotta cover all of their stories. But since she is a character, I want to still cover it. Keep in mind, we saw her last episode and she was smashing Diamond. She told him don't get used to it, basically. But who knows, maybe she possibly got dignitized or something, and she might feel some type of way about the death of Diamond and decide to pursue whoever it is that took him out, especially if Jannard was to tell her that it was D-Mac who was behind the robbery. So that would get her on board, and we might get to see the Chinese get involved with the war. I mean, it could happen like that. Next, we're going to go with your boy Bill Sang. Bill, as we know, we found out earlier in the season that he was working for the Marquez cartel, and now he has the U.S. attorney position, and he has released Roberto Ortega from prison, right? However, what's the problem is with this is that members in his team are starting to, you know, come on to him. They're on to him now. Katrina was already on to him, and then of course she put it on Bobby's radar to be on him. So I think it's not going to look well at all for Bill. Bill is going to, what I could see happening with Bill is one of the two. We could play out a couple of ways, right? So once Bobby confronts him about what's going on, he could either get him arrested, you know, make a good case along with the help of Katrina here, and they could make a case, very strong case, and get him arrested. And I think if he gets arrested, and if any can, you know, point that he gets arrested, Roberto Ortega is absolutely going to put a hit out on him to get him killed, because he knows too much information. You know how it goes, just like Mike Sandoval all over again, right? Also, it could be a situation where they end up taking him out because he just, either way, I'm gonna say this, whatever the outcome of Bill, I don't think it's gonna be good. And whatever the outcome is with him, whether it's of him dying or going to jail, like I said, I don't see him going to jail and just staying there, because unless it happens after Ortega is dead, I don't think he's surviving at all. But anyways, though, next on the list, it so happened to be right on the money, is your girl Katrina. So this is something to me that I think a lot of people hasn't been catching, and this is just my opinion, people. I could be dead wrong about this, but I'm thinking that Katrina might play a pivotal role in this finale, because it just seems like to me, now this could be me just totally reaching, but it seems like to me that she knows some information that she's kind of withholding, right? Like, how did she know the information about Chen meeting up, going to the restaurant? I believe she already knew that Chen was meeting up with Bill. She just didn't want to directly say that, but she knew if she could point Bobby in the right direction, he would do the rest. So I think she's working for someone very high up that possibly we don't know about yet, but it might end up coming 360, and it will make sense later, maybe towards the very end of the episode. Because she did also just show up out of nowhere. Because at first, I forgot her name, but the little chunky girl, she was there at first. Then all of a sudden, she comes as her replacement, and she's kind of like got her nose and everything. And look how hard she was pressing on Bobby, telling him not to go after Tommy. Now, people can say she's just upholding the law, and she cares about making sure that the case is solid so that they don't lose the case. But me personally, I think it's a little bit more than that. But y'all definitely let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about Katrina here? But next on the list, I just mentioned him, we're gonna go to your boy Chen. So as we know, he has been meeting up with Bill quite often throughout these episodes, right? He has been the liaison between Ortega and basically the feds, who, they more, which is Bill saying, right? And now Bobby knows about this. And I have been saying throughout the season that Chen looks like somebody tough as hell, like he'll really fuck somebody up. That's just how I seen him. And then we so happened to find out this past episode that he's not even a lawyer. The mind is there. He just was posing to be a lawyer to end up getting inside information and, make whatever moves he needs to make for Roberto. I'm starting to think, because look, think about this, people. I kind of was thinking this from the beginning, that there may be some kind of connection between Chen and Madam Wu, because I was like, what are the odds of a Mexican cartel working with these Asians like that? I'm just saying, this is just me now. I don't know too many Asians and, Mexicans that works close like that, unless they're doing some kind of special business, right? That's just me. I mean, I could be tripping, but I believe that Chen is probably a high up in another organization. Who knows? He might be part of Madam Wu's crew. Could be. And they're all working together, and it's somebody that's the overseer of all of them. I believe it's all going to come together and make sense towards the end of this episode. But yeah, and I mean, we might finally get to see him get his hands dirty a little bit, so be on the lookout for him. As far as whether he dies or not, I don't think he will. I think he's going to end up possibly playing a role later on down the line in possibly a future spinoff or something like that. Because I just can't see them, you know, being able to write off everybody's story. Like, I know a lot of people are expecting this episode to be an absolute bloodbath, and I don't think it will. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys. I think a couple of big characters will, and solid characters, you know, will fall, sure. But an absolute bloodbath where 8 characters fall, no, I don't think so. We might get 4, maybe 5. Anyways, though, moving along, we're gonna go ahead and go to your boy Roberto Ortega. Now, Roberto has been here since the end of season 2, right? And quite frankly, we haven't seen him do anything. Like, he talk a big game. He been ugly as hell talking, you feel me? But he hasn't really done anything. So I suspect him to be ugly as hell this episode. Like, that's what I suspect. I think he's gonna do something. He's gonna really show us how powerful the Marquez cartel really is. And I think that, along with the combination of him being, you know, Jannard and the coalition, and of course, possibly even the Chay being flipped on them as well. Possibly. I don't know. I don't see a situation where Chay and Ortega could be working together, but they might end up becoming enemies of Tommy, both of them, when this thing ends. But anyways, like I said, I suspect him to launch a very powerful all-out assault, and he probably will take out somebody significant. Haven't quite been able to 100% put my finger on it, on who it's going to be. But I mean, the way they've been prepping this guy up, and they basically waited all the way till episode 10 to do something. Like, you know, him talking about, oh, he'll be taken out, and all that he's been saying, and all the threats that he's been putting together. Like, nigga, you out. It's time to do it, nigga. Stop doing all that big talk, nigga, and show us what your ugly ass gonna do. So, who knows? He might could end up being a talker and just get his ass popped. And honestly, it might just turn out to be just that. But I guess we'll see with that. But anyway, I got him dying for sure. Nigga ain't surviving. That's for damn sure. Now, next on our list, we have Bobby, right? Now, as we know, as of the last 2 episodes, Bobby has been on a rampage trying to find out what happened with his wife. Like, he thinks he knows, he's almost positive he knows that it is Tommy. But, you know, he has no proof outside of what Stacy told him. But, you know, that's not going to hold up in the court of law, the he say, she say thing. So, he is pressing, of course, Bill, because he now knows that Bill is dirty, and he's going to be doing his damage to try to, you know, basically avenge his dead wife. And to go ahead and just give you guys an answer on his outcome, I think he's gonna have a significant role in possibly being a part of what happens with the end of what Tommy's storyline will be. But we shall see. Do I think he's going to die? No, I do not. So, now, next on our list, we have your girl, Kate Egan. Now, Kate, as we know, is an OG character. She has been around since season 2 of the original Power. Could it possibly be time for her to go? This one is kind of tricky because remember, I spoke about it earlier. We talked about how ugly ass Jannard is going to possibly come and spray up this funeral on their way out. Now we see Kate right there at the forefront, along with Genesis. And remember, I made a video about how Kate could potentially be out of here due to some of the metaphors that they was kind of giving us, and talking about the 7 pigeons and all that. Now, I also said that could be meaning that JP's death is coming. So we did, of course, get the death of JP, so that could make her safe. But I also think there can't be a situation where Kate and Maria coexist together, right? So one of them has to go, whether it's leaving and not being around Tommy or death. So with all of that being said, man, I think that kind of puts Kate in danger, because I don't believe Maria, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this out here, we're gonna go right to her right after this, so might as well kind of do them together. But I don't think Maria will die right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I actually think Maria will survive the series. That's my opinion. So that kind of puts Kate in a little bit of danger here. She's been around for a while, she's been there for Tommy for the longest, and it might be her time, but I'm actually gonna go with she survives. I know it's crazy, but I'm gonna go with she survives, and Maria will also survive as well. So with Maria, I do think she's going to leave. That's how she's going to be able to make it. I don't think anyone living among Tommy can survive, as far as women. But since she's going to make the decision to leave, and I believe Tommy actually is going to give her his blessing, because Kate last episode heard her speaking to someone, and she asked, "Are you leaving my boy?" Now, Kate, being the mother that she is, she's understanding. She's gonna understand 100% why Maria might be considering leaving, because the life is dangerous and she is now pregnant. She has to protect not only herself now, she has to protect the child. And let's be real, right now, even though Tommy, we know, loves Maria and he'll do anything to try to protect her, he's not thinking straight. He's thinking more about revenge than he is the safety of his child. So that's something that gotta be put into consideration. But I think potentially maybe Kate even tells Tommy, or perhaps Maria tells him herself. But I think he's going to understand and be like, you know what, this life, this way things are right now, it is way too dangerous. So yeah, I think we should, I do think you should leave until I can sort all these things out, right? So that's my opinion. I think Maria goes away. Maybe she does end up going to Mexico like she was kind of talking about. But yeah, I think she does survive, but she's not going to be with Tommy, at least for now. Next, I want to cover a character that I kind of didn't, I forgot to do him. You got my boy Grayskull, right? So Grayskull told Jannard that if they didn't deliver DMAC to him, then he need to consider himself at war with another crew. Now, is he going to hold up to that promise that he gave him? We'll see. But my opinion, I think Grayskull might end up coming and, going at CBI as well. So who knows? Could I possibly see them making him an ally? Maybe not. But I think what's probably going to happen is if he does even pop up, Grayskull is probably going to get popped, because I could see a scenario where he's going to end up pulling up on Jannard, questioning him about the DMAX situation and stuff like that. Jannard already gonna be ugly as hell, high as a kite. Plus, he's pissed off that his brother just got killed. He's not gonna have any remorse. You know, he's not gonna give two fucks. He's gonna just shoot the man right then and there. I could see a scenario where it just pops off exactly like that. Like he ain't finna play with that man. But you know, Grayskull is my boy though. Now we are moving on to Chay. Now, in my opinion, I think Chay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just cut to the chase. I think Chay is out of here, people, because he has consistently, on more than one occasion, threatened Maria in front of Tommy and Miguel, two people that loves her dearly, and it's not gonna play that shit. And they're not gonna keep taking that too lightly. So I can see a scenario where Miguel, I'm gonna go with Miguel, is going to kill him, because it also could be possible that maybe someone could reveal to him that he was responsible for the death of his son, and then, you know, Miguel ends up having to take him out, similar to how, you know, and then I can see Miguel telling Chay right before he killed him that it was him who took out his son. And it can be very similar to, if you remember, the original Power episode 608, sorry, where Tommy and Ghost broke into Sax's apartment, and they was like, and Tommy told him, look, I did that shit. I killed Angela, and you ain't never go get me for it. I can see Miguel possibly telling Chay, I killed your son, and you ain't gonna do shit about it, and then takes him out. I can definitely see a scenario with that. And then I think that could possibly be the reason they end up needing a new plug, because, you know, Chay is no longer on the board. And really quick, going back to this, I forgot to cover this. Also, don't be surprised if Cruz get taken out here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there. Cruz might get taken out here when Jannard sprays up this funnel. Now, back to the other glass niggas. Next up, we got your boy Miguel, right? So Miguel is, now we're starting to get to the really big characters, right? I got Miguel dying. I just think it was foreshadowed in episode, what is that, 606, where they had dinner, and you know, basically Maria was telling him that she wanted him to, if he wants to be her Tito, I believe it's called, then you need to be Tommy's protector. And I think he's going to take that to heart, because Miguel, as I've been repeatedly saying, is a family man. So he now looks at Tommy as family, and he's going to do whatever it is to protect his family. You can tell Miguel don't play about family. So I could see a scenario perhaps where Tommy could be in trouble and Miguel takes the hit for him. I know it's a couple of people saying sacrificing himself for Maria. I think he's gonna sacrifice himself for Tommy. But anyways, like I said, the death of Chay is gonna could be what Tommy ends up having to call Tariq in for, because he knows Tariq is now a connect as well. Just throwing it out there. Anyways, though, now we're gonna get to your boy D-Mac. Now D-Mac, I want to say he lives because I just think it makes sense. He's already been shot twice. I mean, could they get this man shot again the next episode? It'd be kind of crazy. But I mean, you never know when it comes to power. But I'm gonna go with he survived, and also he's gonna end up making it to a new spinoff, probably in Atlanta with Genesis, and possibly connected, you know, maybe he doesn't go to Atlanta, he goes to New York and then does something with Tariq as well. You know, Michael a combination with the two nephews, maybe. But anyways, long story short, I think D-Mac will survive, so I'm not going to spend too much time on him. Now, on to a big one here. I know a lot of people, and I've been looking at other content creators and of course other fans have said how they believe Vic is going to die. And I said since the beginning, I don't have him die, and I don't think he will. I'm still going to stick with my prediction. Vic will not die, people. I believe Vic, now I know I also said I believe Vic will do something to save Tommy's ass in the end, and that could very much still turn out to be the truth. But I don't know, judging by this trailer, it doesn't seem like it. But either way, I think Vic is going to end up on top at the end of this thing, people. I know a lot of people don't see this, but that's my opinion. I don't think he's dying. He did come back and to get Tommy, and whatever it is going to work. I'm going to tell y'all. Vic is going to come out on top. But I'll dive into it deeper when I do their individual character, because I don't want, if I did too much this video is already 30 minutes long. It's already too long. But anyways, I got Vic surviving, and he's going to play a pivotal part in the ending of this episode. I will say that. And now we finally get to your ugly ass nigga, Junkie Jannard. And he is about to be ugly as hell this coming episode, right? He just lost his brother. He was already ugly as hell. And now he just got a new high to be even more hideous, right? So, in my opinion, I think he's going to be raising hell this episode. He's going to catch a few bodies. Absolutely, that's going to happen. And I'll go ahead and say it to you guys. I don't think Jannard is going to die. I don't. And it's going to piss some of the fans out, because absolutely a lot of people want him out because, he took out JP. So he became a major villain after that. And then on top of that, for the people that felt bad for Diamond, they felt like, he was an ungrateful piece of shit, and Diamond sacrificed himself for someone that didn't deserve to live. So, yeah, it's going to piss the fans off when they see that this guy survived. But Jannard's not going anywhere, people. For one thing, Chris Lofton, the actor, has been doing a phenomenal job. So I think it just makes sense that they want to keep him around for a future spinout, because he's also going to have a significant part to play in the finishing touches of this episode. And yeah, like I said, he's not going to die, people, my opinion. And lastly, of course, we got none other than Tommy Egan. So Tommy, obviously I don't have him dying, but I will say this, people. I don't think the possibility of him dying is as low as people think. I don't have him dying, but I could, if by some miracle he does, it wouldn't shock me. I'll say that. But anyways, I don't think he's gonna get a good ending. I'll say that, and I'll dig into it a little bit more when I do the individual characters breakdowns and descriptions for the remainder of this season. But yeah, I don't think Tommy will die, but he won't have a good ending. I'll say that, because obviously something's gonna happen that he's gonna have to leave Chicago. We know that. So I'll leave you guys with that. So pretty much, people, that's all I got for you as far as this particular video. I know it's a long one. Shout out to all you ugly ass niggas that was able to finish it and make it through the entirety of this video. If you did make it to the end of the episode, this video, let me know in the comment section. Appreciate you ugly ass niggas and niggas for rocking with your boy and making it through this video. But like usual, if you're cool with me, fool with me, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking. But most importantly, make sure you share with your ugly ass friends. Until the next video, I'm out.